I don't have on an animated shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's fresh though. I think that's fresh when you can't fit it no more.
15 now proudly brings to you the GTS Podcast. Guys Talking Smack, the weekly review where we talk about Smackdown, whether it was a smack up, smackdowner, or a smack in the face. This is your boy EJ the King.
It's your guy J.Fields.
And we have a special guest with us today. Joining us on the GTS Podcast, Rich Homie Twan. Say what's up, man.
Fellas, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, Smackdown took place this weekend.
Memphis, Tennessee.
M-Town, home of us three. Home of Elvis Presley, Isaac Hayes,
Jerry Lawler,
BB King,
Justin Timberlake,
Penny Hardaway.
666.
How you doing?
Project Pat.
That's all I want to know. Yo, got it. Okay.
Gangsta Boo. All right.
Catherine Bates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dug for that one.
Yeah, you did.
But anyway, y'all.
I don't even know if I know who that is.
Catherine Bates. Misery. Waterboy mama.
Yeah.
Fran Dresser. Oh, she just lived here.
Shit, she might. I don't know.
The one white woman that
The
made it to
nanny.
a Tyler Perry movie.
Oh, her. Yeah, her.
Yeah.
She in that jump too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Look at that. Huh?
Yeah, all that jazz.
Memphis history.
Yeah. Suck it, Sterl. Anyway, before we go over this rundown for the match card or whatnot, J.Fields, Rich Homie Twan, y'all got a match to watch for, I heard.
Indeed. My match this week comes from the UK tournament. Tommy Ian versus Neville. Tommy Ian made his debut over in the UK in Blackpool for the UK tournament. It wasn't a part of the tournament. It was just a special attraction match. Neville came out, trashed the fact that he should have been in the tournament. It would have been a landslide. He'd be the UK champion and how he's been the forgotten one. And he said nobody could beat him in the Tommy Ian. And when I tell you, if you've never watched Tommy Ian, if you've never seen his top 20 moves on YouTube, never seen any of his matches on YouTube, this is a match to see. Check it out. Hard hitting. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. The man is capable of so much more, but the time that they gave them, Neville and Tommy Ian put on a hell of a match. UK wrestling is like, I'm becoming a bigger and bigger fan every day.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I mean, that was a good match, but my particular match, that I took most to, that I just had to make it my match of the week, was Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
And because, like you said, hard hitting. I'm not a cruiserweight, I'm a bruiserweight. And he proves it in the ring with those licks that he put on you, that, he has a flatliner like I've never seen before. But I do want some attention to be shown that both of these matches is in the UK tournament, which means if you haven't seen the UK tournament, you need to see the UK tournament.
Right. In 2 days. They've taken over the wrestling scene. Like in 2 days. 2 nights. They put UK wrestling on the map way more than it's ever been. We had some implants. You had William Regal, you had implants, different people you had Wade Barrett. You had people, that was good, but never to the level of what we get now. Mm-hmm. Like you imagine, you think about American indie guys that like everybody's high on, Adam Cole, Roger Strong, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles. Consider that like you got a number of guys in the UK that's almost the same exact that you had that same about. Mm-hmm. From the UK, Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne. I mean, I could keep going. Not even just the UK, but just from the United Kingdom, from Europe. From that side of the world. Like they're killing it. Marty Skrull, like, you know, that's another dude I'm real high on. He's an ROH. Will Ospreay. I could keep going. Like,
definitely.
So what they gonna do with their title? Are they gonna? Is there any plan to move it to a brand, or are they just gonna make that a thing and
they're
trophy?
They're talking about making it a thing where, like, they have similar to 205 Live, where they have a weekly show where they let the different wrestlers from the UK go on there and they start to build their program like that. So it kind of be like a Progress or Revolution Pro. If you ever checked those promotions out, if you haven't, that's something else you should probably take a look at. ICW. It'll be like a hour-long episode of like WWE UK wrestling, which would be so dope.
Okay. Yeah, I sure was wondering. Like, that title looked nice too, man. So
it's the best looking title we've had.
I agree, and like, I just hate for that just to be a trophy. So I was just wondering if they had any plans, you know, as far as like to move this somewhere. But yeah,
right.
Definitely gonna check it out. I meant to check it out today, but yeah, other things came up.
Yeah,
but that's cool. All right, news and rumors.
They're still changing the audio for Roman Reigns.
Yes.
And that bothers me.
But not only to changing the audio, handing out merchandise and saying, wear this,
right?
And we'll put you on TV.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, this is horrible. This is a travesty in the wrestling business.
That's a new
so you don't even get a chance to like who you like, get a chance to hate who you like. That was the whole point of being a wrestling fan. To boo who you want to boo, to cheer for who you want to cheer for. And regardless, like, everybody didn't like Stone Cold growing up. Everybody didn't like The Rock. You know, some people like DX. Some people like the NWO. You know, you got a chance to cheer for who you wanted to. You didn't have to worry. You had a choice. You didn't have anybody telling you, okay, this is who you should cheer for, or they're trying to make the person that you really love come out and get cheap heat just so you'll boo them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous. So, like, if you don't see Raw live, you can pretty much guarantee that when you go back and watch it on Hulu or YouTube or wherever you may watch it, that whatever reaction for Roman Reigns is not authentic.
No. I mean, I kind of sense that anyway, you know, watching Raw at times, but like, you never know how many delays they have recording Raw now. They may have like a 2-minute delay so they can pump as much as they can in there to us on TV. But people there, I mean, I seen, you know, you see tweets and you see people on the threads and stuff all the time talking about, like, man, our crowd, our city ain't showing Roman Reigns no love, but we watching TV. I'm like, sound like it, you know what I'm saying? So,
and I'm like, why do these little girls and teenage girls and women sound so much louder than like these dudes is like, boo?
Yeah,
like you would think that would be the sound that would overpower like screaming children and women. But I mean, I'm not a sound technician. I don't know for certain, but something's fishy going on here. That's all I was saying.
All right.
Stone Cold. Kurt Angle wants Stone Cold to induct him into the Hall of Fame. How dope would that be? Yeah,
I think we kind of called that a little bit last night, but I think we was more leaning toward maybe Shane. But yeah, I can definitely see Stone Cold. I mean, them backstage segments they had back during the invasions and everything. I mean, it was priceless. So, I mean, I'm actually excited about that. I wonder like who else is they gonna nominate? You know, put in as in the Hall of Fame, and who else gonna get, you know, bring that in? I heard rumors about Christian. To me, I think it's too soon for Christian. I mess with Christian, but like, just to throw me in right now, it's too soon. Like, to be anything, I mean, give a couple more years.
Plus, he's still a little too active. I feel like we still see a little bit too much of Christian for him to be considered a Hall of Famer.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I still got baby milk on his breath, man. Don't throw him in there too fast. I mean, we got time. You know?
They threw Edge in there so fast.
I mean, they threw Edge in there, right? I mean, see, I was scared they was going to deal with Daniel Bryan, too. I didn't want that to happen. Of course, that actually put the nail on the coffin that he's done, you know, with WWE. So, I mean, I'm glad they didn't do that. But that's that on that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, Elimination Chamber. 4 weeks from now.
Will be a Smackdown pay-per-view.
WWE title in the main event.
I'm pretty sure we're going to touch base on that later on. So
I guarantee it.
Let's get down with this rundown. J.Fields, what you got this week?
All right, Smackdown took place live from Memphis, Tennessee, or as The Miz told us, Memphis, Tennessee. And the show kicked off with Shane McMahon coming down to the ring to announce the Elimination Chamber match and that the WWE title would be on the line. AJ Styles, of course, did not see this as a good idea, so he interrupted, came out and basically said that he was being mistreated as a champion. Why should he have to go and jump through all these extra hoops? Which, of course, then entered John Cena. And before he can get anything out, AJ continues talking, basically saying that he is the reason why SmackDown is doing as well as it's doing, and he deserves the respect. And, of course, into The Miz, because he says that the only reason why SmackDown has been successful because of how prestigious he made the Intercontinental title and the fact that every time he's in the ring on the mic, it's must-see. And then AJ and Miz get into a verbal altercation back and forth. They take a couple jabs at each other. And Cena basically plays instigator, like standing behind him like, ooh, did you hear what he just said about you type of thing. Mm-hmm. And it leads to our opening match between Miz versus AJ Styles. And right before that match takes place, they show backstage, coming back from the commercial, Shane McMahon is backstage with Dean Ambrose. And Dean Ambrose asks for revenge on the Wives from the attack from the other week when they jumped him. And he says that he wants Randy Orton, and Shane grants it to him. So later on in the night, Dean Ambrose versus the Viper. Nevertheless, Miz versus AJ Styles ended in a no contest when AJ threw the Miz into John Cena, and then he hit John Cena with a quick shot and then ran into the ring. Cena chased him. Miz tried to sneak up behind him, hit the skull-crushing finale. Cena reversed it into an attitude adjustment. AJ Styles, after that happened, AJ Styles jumped on the apron, tried to hit the phenomenal forearm. Cena reversed that and hit an attitude adjustment, and that was really hard to say. None of that I like having to report that.
Right.
I wish I could have thought of a 9 million ways that could have went way better than what I just had to say. But that's what really happened. I'm not going to change it to what I wanted, but that's what really happened. Moving on. From that, we go to Nikki Bella Shawn walking to the ring. When we come back from commercial break, she's standing in the ring with a microphone, and she basically calls out Natalya from the attack on her last week. And Natalya appears in the crowd and says that she has something that she wants to show Bella, and she goes to the merchandise stand in the arena in the hallway and shows that Nikki Bella's merchandise is right next to John Cena. Of course, we know their item, clearly. And then she also makes note of the fact that her Uncle Bret Hart's shirt is also in the merchandise stand, which it was not really there, people. Nope. We were there. We walked right by that stand, and there was no Bret Hart merchandise there. It was a plant. And then she talks about how she doesn't have any merchandise. And then she goes on this tantrum of like, well, nobody's going to have merchandise. And she starts picking up as many T-shirts and as many foam fingers and things that she can grab. And she starts throwing them away and acting crazy. And then Nikki Bella comes through the crowd and meets her in the merchandise stand, and they get into a brawl amongst the merchandise stand workers and the fans that were not in the arena during that time. And it's a pull apart. They break them up. And then we cut back in the ring. It is time for Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton, which is a very good match back and forth. And fast forward to the end of the match, we saw Dean Ambrose go for a suicide dive on Orton, but instead he hit Luke Harper. Luke Harper, for the third week in a row, got in the ring, tried to get after Orton's opponent, and cost Orton the match via a quick roll-up by Dean Ambrose for the victory. Then Luke got in the ring. Bray tried to calm the situation down. Orton and Harper got into a quick brawl, and then he was able to get him. Bray was able to get them off each other. Luke tried to step back up. This time, Bray turned and caught him one in the jaw, hit him with a right hand, knocked him back. Luke left the ring, basically saying, like, forget this. He left the ring, and Orton and Bray left together. Next up, the King's Court with the King. Jerry Lawler, live from his hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. And his special guest was Dolph Ziggler. Basically, the King took the role of trying to kind of get Dolph to talk about why he had been making the choices that he was making, even though that they weren't really helping him. He had been on a losing streak, and his change in attitude wasn't causing him to become a winner. He was still losing matches, and that his change in attitude was not doing any good for him. Finally, Dolph responds. Jerry Lawler actually showed the footage of him losing to Kalisto in the attack that he did on him and Apollo Crews. which led to Dolph saying that he had some footage of his own that he wanted to show the King, and he pulled the footage from 4 years ago when he was dropping repeated elbow after elbow on the King in Montreal that we pretty much can say led to the heart attack that he suffered only minutes later at the announce booth after his match that, you know, was life-threatening. And he basically said that he was going to finish the job on the King. Like, I'm gonna finish what I started in Montreal if you keep talking to me. And Jerry Lawler says, I just got one more thing I want to ask you. How does it feel knowing that no matter what you do with your attitude or what changes you make, you're gonna always be a loser? In which the crowd, the GTS team, we all resounded in the cheer of loser to Dolph Ziggler, which couldn't have done nothing but made him even angrier. And he super kicks the King in the chest, which led to JBL getting up from the announce booth. He trips and falls. It was really, it was hilarious.
I saw it today.
He fell trying to get in the ring to try to make the save for the King as Dolph retreated up the ramp, and JBL checked on the King, helped him back up to his feet as Dolph received massive heat for that. Following that, we got a quick backstage with Bray Wyatt. Actually, he says next week is going to be Randy Orton versus Luke Harper because they need to get their personal matters dealt with so they can be in the right state of mind. They can be stronger than ever for the Royal Rumble. And he promoted that match for next week. And then in our main event, we got our SmackDown Women's Championship defended in a steel cage with Alexa Bliss, our champion, versus Becky Lynch. And we saw the revealing of La Luchadora at the post of the match. Alexa Bliss won with assistance from La Luchadora, and Becky Lynch was able to fight them off and take the mask off of La Luchadora to reveal that La Luchadora is, drum roll please,
I'm sorry,
Mickie James. It's Mickie James, everyone. And they beat Becky down a little bit further, and then they celebrated in the ring with Alexa holding the title. And that, folks, was your SmackDown live from Memphis, Tennessee.
All righty.
Oh, GTS.
It is time for our Smack Up, Smack Downer, and the Smack in the Face. Twan. Rich Homie Twan, we're going to get you to cook it off this. I said cook it off. Kick it off this week. What was your Smack Up?
Well, I have to say my Smack Up was the Dolph Ziggler official Super Saiyan heel turn. I like the fact that he managed to get this much heat all based on his actions. He didn't go out get any cheap heat. You know, he didn't bash Memphis, talk about Memphis, you know, not to throw any salt on the Miz.
Right.
You know, but the Miz already established. He gonna say what he want to say. You know, right. Dolph is in some he on the proving ground right now.
Right.
And I just like the fact that he's actually over as a heel now, because a couple of weeks ago, you know, when he did the whole thing with Kalisto, he was in the tweener stage to me.
Right.
Because it was supposed to be a heel turn, but people liked it. People were looking at it like, hey, this is the Ziggler we've been waiting for. And they cheered him when he came out. They cheered him in his match. And, you know, and to make mention of his match against Kalisto, it's like you could tell how serious he is taking this heel turn, because even his entire moveset during that whole match with Kalisto, he had a heel moveset to him. You know, he was doing more ground, but more punishment-like moves versus, you know,
flashy.
Exactly. And you know, I just feel like he's actually over as a heel, like you even said. I mean, hell, I had a Dolph Ziggler shirt on and I was chanting loser. You know, how does that make me look? That means we hate you, man.
Hypocrite.
I mean, that means we hate you. I mean, you know, you can kick people, super kick people because they come out and you feel like they interfere in your matches. Okay.
Yeah.
Kalisto's a good guy. You know, you shouldn't have did him like that. But okay. Can't excuse you kicking cardiac arrest people in the chair. We can't excuse you from that, Dolph. So I do like the fact that he's officially a heel, and he's officially a heel based on his work ethic.
Yeah. Was that your smack up?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah. Just to elaborate. Yeah. I mean, just like you said, Twan. Like we always pinpointed that, you know, him beating up Apollo Crews or beating up Kalisto really didn't establish him, you know, to make the crowd want to hate him, because like Apollo Crews and Kalisto, they really not those top baby faces that we love and adore.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to hit. We always call it, he had to hit somebody to make us say, "Oh hell no, that's messed up." And like, of course, we took it more to heart because we're in Memphis. You kicked our king, like, you know, we really got offended by that. I'm like, nah, dog, that, you know, boo, loser, everything you want to call him. You know, we did all that. So, but it took him to do that to make it say, hey, he's ready.
Exactly.
You know, we give him the green light. Now, you know, he pretty much can come out there and get the heat he deserves. Like I said, just like you said, Miz already has that heat established. So he's going to come out and say his 2 pieces. He's going to trash the city, but like, he's not doing it for cheap heat. That's just his character. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he's a A-lister. He's going to trash. Even I even feel if they did a show in Hollywood, he just say like, this Hollywood won't be Hollywood without me. So, I mean, you know, anything like that. But back to Dolph Ziggler, it's just like I said, you know, like I said, it opened up the door that I'm wondering if they're going to actually focus on the feud with him and maybe Apollo, because Apollo wasn't there tonight, of course. But I wonder if they're going to reopen that sometime, or maybe in the Rumble, they get into a scrap or whatever, and they both go over the top ropes and fight it out. So, you know, pretty much, I mean, you never know. That depending on how they build it and how the crowd accepts it, you might even have that at WrestleMania, depending on how the card or a pre-show, just depending. But yeah, Dolph is an established heel now, and you know, like I said, with his moveset, what you pointed out, and his attitude, it matches, and I'm excited for his character now. Like we're all excited for him, so they did good with that.
I hate the guy now. I hate his guts. I mean, you threatened the king's life.
Exactly.
Now we excuse you. It was an accident when he had the cardiac arrest, the heart attack there on Raw. You know, everybody was remorseful. Like, oh man, you didn't want that. Nobody wanted to see that happen, especially not us. You know, being King fans. You know, but then to take credit for it 4 years later, now all of a sudden you want to brag about the fact that you damn near killed the king. You want to brag about it now, and then you go. Not only do you brag about it, but then you put it out there like you keep on. I'm gonna finish what I started. Come on, man. No, not to the king. Not to the king. Like I got mad. I almost want to jump the rail. I almost want to jump the rail. Like, Lawler, you ain't got no fire hidden nowhere you can throw. I mean, he ain't even had a strap up. I'm like, see, we need something. I mean, like, you know, it was. He made me hate him in that one moment, and I mean, like that was some very kudos to Dolph for selling it. And kudos to the creator for, you know, putting the pieces in place, because like we said in the past week, you know, like it was going to take something like this.
Right.
It was going to have to be something, because nothing against Apollo Crews, nothing against Kalisto. They're good. People cheer them, but they don't cheer them because, oh, they just love them so much. They cheer them because they are just that clean cut type of face, you know.
They give high fives.
They high five fans, you know what I'm saying? They slap fives. They play to the crowd. They do amazing flips. We like them because they flip, like not because like they made me care about who they are as people, but because of the fact that, you know, you don't do bad things. That's why kids like you and people cheer. You know, as if he would have maybe jumped somebody like the people really like. You know, maybe jump to Seth Rollins, or, you know, attack somebody that, or Sami Zayn, somebody that's, you know, that people really love, that they're really behind. It was going to have to be somebody like that. And for us, Jerry Lawler's our Sami Zayn. He's in Memphis. I mean, it doesn't matter how old Lawler is, as long as he's alive in Memphis, he's going to get one of the biggest pops of the night. Every time. He's going to get the Jerry chance. We're going to give him the love, because, I mean, this is how many of us became wrestling fans. You know, many of us wouldn't even be wrestling fans had it not been for Jerry Lawler. He was the staple for Memphis wrestling. But Dolph did his job, so I hate the guy now. Like, I'm not going to forget. I'm going to remember.
Absolutely.
So what was your smack up then, J.Fields?
My smack up was the main event, the cage match. And for historic purposes, the first one that we've ever had in WWE, and then the fact that both women went into the match and they didn't hold anything back. You know, like they brought it. You know, it wasn't like they weren't, you know, holding back on the move. They weren't like, oh, they seemed like they were nervous to be in this type of, like, the pressure got on to them. It didn't feel like that. It felt like they responded well to the pressure.
Right.
They responded well to the moment. And, you know what I'm saying, Alexa Bliss to be in that type of match, you know what I'm saying, for them to have this type of opportunity, her and Becky, like, I think it really put them on another level. You know, like, all the women wrestling that we see from NXT or anything on the indies all the way to, you know, Charlotte and Sasha that we was getting all along, like, they have their own thing going. They're not trying to copy what everybody else is doing.
Right.
They're stepping into it and they're saying, okay, this is us. This is our program. This is our opportunity. We're at the main event. We're main event SmackDown yet again. We're in the top spot. We're the last thing people going to see. Mm-hmm. Let's make this memorable. Mm-hmm. And I think they did a great job of doing the exploder suplex off the ropes. Yeah. I mean, nobody saw that coming. You know, they battled on the ropes quite a bit, you know, like trying to get out of the cage. And even the addition of Mickie James, because of the fact that now, what is they going to do for the women's division as a whole? Because now you compare Alexa Bliss, the young gun, up with the veteran. Mm-hmm. And that can be some magic in the making, because we know Mickie can cut a promo. We know Mickie has a great character, is entertaining from just the time that she was in WWE, even if you didn't watch her in TNA. Like, she can carry a program, and to have a veteran versus another veteran in Becky Lynch going forward, that's going to be pretty interesting, I think. So that whole moment, the whole cage match and everything that happened within the ring was just really well done, I would say.
Also pointing out that y'all can thank us later for that "This Is Awesome" chant that we started after that suplex.
Yeah, we started it.
Us three. We started that.
Three of us started it.
You know, so I'm just, you know, putting that out there. You know?
So if you watch it back and you hear it, and if Alexa's listening, we love you. And that was for you and Becky, but mostly you. So
yeah, like you pointed out, man, it's just like that match was great. I mean, and then, like I said, that was a highlight of the night. That was the main event, you know. And it went off dramatic. You know, the show went off dramatic. You know, like I said, I had the time to come back home and watch it today. Mm-hmm. You know, of course, we was there live, but like I saw it, and I know how it went off with, you know, the revealing of Mickie James, and like the crowd was like, oh, I mean, you know, the commentators like, that's Mickie James. You know, of course they knew it, but like they sold it. They made everybody, you know, like people who didn't know, they let them know that former WWE champion, all that other type of stuff. And just like, you know, just a highlight on that. And then the show goes off. Mm-hmm. That's how we're going to remember last week's SmackDown when we watch it next week. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's brilliant. It makes you lock in and see what Mickie has to say. See what Mickie has to say and see what Becky's going to, you know, confront her with. So, I mean, you know, it's just the women's division on SmackDown, like I said, nothing against Raw, but like the storyline is much deeper. It's not just out there, you know, trashing what we used to do in NXT or anything like that. It's strictly based on you the champion, I want the belt. No said, you know, and I think everybody has a focal point. Everybody is involved in something, you know, who's on TV. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I just want to point out, I really want to commend, I mean, just the women division in SmackDown period, but a special accommodation for Becky and Alexa, especially Alexa, for the simple fact that, well, I mean, you could say the same breath for Becky too. Like, during that time in NXT, they didn't come off any title runs.
Right.
You know, they didn't get the belt in NXT. And just their transition to the main roster and see how they're actually handling title runs. And I mean, this is the main title on the main roster for women. Mm-hmm. And the way that they're handling it, I just really want to commend them, because one of the things that I like is that when they do have a match, they're not giving too much. Mm-hmm. They give you just enough to say, if they have to fight again next week for some odd reason, I don't mind it. If they got to fight 2 weeks from now, I don't mind it. And like you said, the addition with Mickie James, it's like you could just look at it from so many different ways instead of just looking at it as in somebody who interfered in the match and that's why Becky didn't win. You gotta, this is when kayfabe plays a factor. You gotta get the entire story. You gotta look at it like, hey, Becky, this all you're doing. It probably wouldn't even be no La Luchador if it was not for you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all you're doing, and basically you done made a bed that you sleeping in, and you giving that pillow hella head because you are sleeping in that bed.
Right.
Because La Luchador is not allowing anything, and it's all off of you. And I just feel like that opens the door for Becky and Mickey, which I do not mind. Give somebody else a chance to take a run at the belt. That's like you just said, EJ, keeping everybody involved. Everybody needs to be doing something. Don't nobody need to be collecting free checks. Everybody needs to be doing something. Utilize all your talent for something. Everybody can be doing something.
Right.
And like I said, I just feel like that's how the way that storyline played out, you know, it left an open door. It basically doesn't make Becky look weak. So it's always room for her to come back for the belt when she through with her beef. Maybe against somebody else, maybe still against Alexa, but because they didn't give us too much, I don't mind it if it's still against Alexa.
Right.
Yeah. So big ups to the women.
What about you, EJ? What was your smack up?
My smack up this week was, I take that back, was the Dean Ambrose and Randy Orton match. Man, that was a good match. I mean, just like we was pointing out, you know, you brought this up, Twan, about the women. Like, you know, it made sense. So if they was to happen, like, just the fact that they was in the ring and they had this match, it made sense. It wasn't just something thrown together. It wasn't just somebody just, you know, Dean Ambrose woke up and said he wanted a match with Randy Orton, or they just made it happen. Like, he had reasoning. You know what I'm saying? He was like, okay, well, you know, Miz is involved in his thing right now. You know, since I got the Miz out of my hair right now, let's get back to what happened to me last month. I want the wides. I won't break. I want Randy Orton. Randy Orton wanted to drop me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but back to the match. I mean, you know, I can't stress enough. I say it each week. I love Randy Orton with the wides. And, you know, seeing that live, him coming out there with Bray Wyatt live and Luke Harper, I mean, just like, you know, their presence and their psychological game they play in the ring. I mean, you know, in and outside of the ring is brilliant, you know, but to the match, I mean, we got a good Dean going on right now. Dean is putting on some hell of a matches, entertaining, good backstage promos, good ring work. I mean, and just like I said, that match was hard hitting, and they, you know, they're right over their bows by the announce table, so they, you know, they used the whole environment, and like it was great. I mean, like I said, they had good spots, but it made you hate Luke Harper again for the reason they want you to hate him. It wasn't just like you tired of him, but like you wonder, damn, dude, why you get in the ring and messing up this match and messing up Randy's chance of winning? Like 3 weeks straight down there, you know, you getting involved where you don't need to be.
Right.
But like I said, you know, I give kudos to Bray Wyatt as well. Like, he plays such a good, you know, I guess mediator outside of the ring, you know, trying to keep everybody cool and, you know, keep everything all in check and whatnot. But like I said, I just really enjoyed that match. I think that's the match I enjoyed the most out of the whole night, you know, because I am a Wyatt fan. I mean, all of us are, but like, it's just the fact that like they're still making us interested in this storyline. And like, you know, we keep going week after week hoping that they don't break up, but like it's starting to happen. But at the same time, I think they're making it easier and easier for me to, you know, if it's going to happen, I can, you know, kind of like, okay, I'm not too mad. But at the same time, it's like, I want them to work this out next week. So like I said, you just got to tune in next week to see what's going on. But like I said, I just really enjoy the program they got going on. I just, you know, it makes me curious and wonder what they're going to do next week. But yeah, I mean, that's simply, like I said, simply put, that was my smack up.
Okay. I can agree with that. Luke, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, what? Why? Like, did you forget the rules of, like, we're a team here? Like, I was getting ready to hit him with the RKO, so I was gonna get him back for you. I was gonna get him for you. Like, you didn't even have to get in there. You didn't have to get in there and even get your hands dirty. I was getting ready to drop him with the RKO. You know, let me do my business in here. You know, it's kind of how I see Orton, you know, doing. I mean, and the thing about it is, like, kudos to Randy Orton. Like, I wish, and I'm not gonna go long on this, but I wish that everybody approach SmackDown and approach the business with the type of mindset and the type of let me give that Randy Orton does. In 3 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even longer than that, Randy Orton has taken the pinfall for the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
To American Alpha twice, to Dean Ambrose last night. Now, granted, Luke got involved and may cause the distraction, but it was still Randy Orton, 12-time world champion, shoulders being pinned to the mat. Now, I'm going to say this one time, and we'll probably get back to it. As a matter of fact, I'm sure we'll get back to it. But why the hell John Cena can't take a loss like that?
Came to the business same time as Randy Orton. Like, why you can't make that trend? Never mind. Yeah, but I'm going to save it.
I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's just let that marinate for a minute. Two guys came in at the same exact time, same level of superstar, same level of championships, big matches, have been since the ruthless aggression time all the way through now. But that guy, he don't mind putting the younger talent over. And it ain't about let me get my win back.
Yeah.
And I'll stop there.
Yeah, let me interject real quick before we take it there. But I first off, I just great smack up for the simple fact, freshness.
Yeah.
All about the freshness. It was a fresh match. That's something we have not seen. And it was great seeing it. I mean, just hearing about it, you got it. You were, oh man, okay.
Yeah.
This I want to see. And also to ask one more time, Luke, what are you doing? Luke, you've seen Randy Orton. You know what a pre-RKO looks like, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of us know what that looks like, and that pretty much looked like what he was about to do.
Yeah.
And when all it takes is one RKO, Luke, you know that. So, Luke, what are you doing? But as you stated, EJ, Luke did his thing to get the reaction out of everybody that he was supposed to get, or the reaction he was supposed to get. But I think that one thing that needs to be acknowledged is how much we needed this from Bray. Yeah. Because we need to know that Bray is the leader.
Right.
We need to know Bray is the leader. We need to know why he's the leader. And basically, if that means you doing too much, I got to put my hands on you to get you in line. That's what we got to do. And if I got to put y'all together and put you in the ring and make y'all fight it out, and whoever lose, you lost. Whoever win, help him up, shake his hand, and we need to conduct business from here on out.
Right.
And just like the talking smack piece.
Yeah.
The way I had to dismiss them for the evening. They got issues that we got a lot going on as a family right now. I had to dismiss them, and y'all will see them next Tuesday.
He's playing daddy mode.
Yeah, exactly. You got to speak with me right now. I think that this is what we need because I can specifically remember J.Fields, this podcast. You, as well as the listeners, I know myself, I can't speak for all the listeners, I know myself, we wrote Bray and Randy off. Yeah. We was like, look, I don't want to see you no more. Yeah. Right. This feud is doing nothing for me. And now it's to the point to where I can't get enough.
It's one of the freshest thing on SmackDown.
I can't get it. I wanna know what's gonna happen. I want to know. Everybody keeps saying he's going to turn. Some people saying, no, he ain't going to. It's like, this is the one thing that is constantly making you wonder, making you guess. And I feel like what's going on is putting Bray in a position that we need him to be in. And that's why I like that segment particularly. And I think you had a great smack up.
Appreciate that. But like I said, just like you pointed out, short and brief, that, we was always wondering what they were going to do with Bray. And like, they need to get the ball rolling. This is the first necessary step to get the people back behind Bray. And like, I think they're doing a great job. And like you said, J.Fields pointed this out a lot of times. Like Bray hasn't been taking a pinfall lately. And he was accustomed to doing that week in and week out, losing their pay-per-views. But now, since that Survivor Series, especially that Survivor Series, they came out on top on Team Smackdown, and like it's elevating him. Now, I think it's going to keep pushing him up to the point that people are not saying gonna forget because we ain't gonna forget, but like he's gonna be a serious threat for the title.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I can't praise that enough. So, but yeah, that was my smack up. But it's about that time we take that turn, talk about what brought us down this week. So, Rich Homie Twan, what was your smackdowner this week?
My smackdowner had to have been Nikki Bella and Natalya.
Oh, I think we got a hot tag.
Hot tag? Oh, love it.
There will be a hot tag.
My first hot tag on GTS. Well, first off, let me start by saying that merchandise did nothing to anybody. Even like it was a total plant because none of it was there. It was a few shirts on the stand, but Bret Hart's shirt wasn't there. You know, like, come on, those shirts wasn't messing with nobody. Why you tearing up shirts? That's got nothing to do with what Nikki said. Because first off, let's go with let's stick to the fact that Nikki, why you got a damn microphone in your hand walking to this ring? That's first off. Why do you have a microphone? Second, Natalya she's just not a good heel. And I feel that she is just not in her to be a heel. She just can't make it happen. She just can't sell it because I feel that she's just too emotional.
Right.
You done said 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row, you're gonna die alone. That's
GP.
Yeah, like come on. Whose feelings are hurt by that? You do know that Nikki was a heel at one time.
Right.
And she was the heel at that time.
She wanted her sister to die in the womb.
Yeah, dying in the womb, man. Come on. Like, I don't think that hurt her feelings that much, telling her that she gonna die alone. I mean, who dies with people, really? So, you know, it's like, come on, I just don't think that she is a good heel, and she's not gonna be a good heel. And I just really feel like this segment in the show, it just takes up space for something else they could be showing. And I wasn't entertained. Money was in my pocket because I wasn't buying. In my back pocket. In my wallet, in my back pocket. So
on a debit card. Hot tag?
Hot tag?
All right.
I fully agree. I've been given, and if you've been, for the people that have been listening to GTS since we started, Natalya turned heel right around the same time as the Smackdown got their own brands, as the brand split took place. And I was giving Natalya a really hard time about her heel work. And it's not the fact that, I wouldn't say right now, it's not the fact that she's not carrying the heel persona very well. It's just the simple fact that Nikki Bella was the heel, like you just said, for so long. It's kind of hard for me to just click back and say, oh, I like Nikki now. Like, she was the heel. Before the Divas Revolution, like, she was the heel on the brand. She was the Divas champion, the longest running Divas champion. She was beating everybody, Twin Magic. She beat up her own sister, had her basically like a slave to her. Like, I mean, she was the most hated woman in the business, in the company. And now you're telling me that I should feel sympathy for her? And because of what Natalya's saying and doing to her, I don't feel it. Those roles should be reversed, I think. I think Natalya could play the better role of face, and Nikki could play the better role of heel. Or maybe they shouldn't be anywhere near each other completely. Let's throw that option. That's option C.
That's a thing.
Let's put that in there. Because honestly, the two of them in a program together, if it's not about being the best woman, if it's not about who's gonna get the next shot, don't fabricate me a story. Don't come up with a storyline to try to make me care. Because Natalya has been the afterthought of the division for years now. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden now, she's just going after the Bellas. She's going after Nikki now. She's going after whoever she wants to go after now. She went after Becky to begin it off. Like, none of that makes sense. Because why are you just now turning? Why did the switch just now go off? You've been taking pinfall losses. You've been on main event. You've been on the lower tier shows. You haven't had a storyline in months outside of Total Divas. Like, you haven't had any importance. We know you can wrestle, but nobody thought enough of you to give you that spot, to give you that moment. And now that they're giving you the spot in the moment, they're giving you a bad story to work with. It's just a bad story. I was much more into the Carmella, Nikki Bella feud than I am now with Natalya.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I would have even maybe accepted it if Naomi or somebody else had to jump Nikki Bella. Honestly, that was just a bad idea. I don't think they knew what they were going to do with that in the beginning. Because honestly, it could have been Mickie James that beat up Nikki Bella. And that would have been a lot better of a circumstance. Switch the roles. Put Natalya in La Luchadora.
That would have been personally interesting. You know, Mickie James used to date John Cena. That would have been actually interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
Man.
I mean, and say like, you know, like you're gonna be. That's a story.
Yeah, you just wrote.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you write that. That's how you write it. You want to talk and smack. You want to get down and dirty. You want to be personal, taking them shots, bringing up this old history. That's how you do it.
And she married, so they ain't gonna like no.
That's what I'm saying. She married with a kid, but I mean, like, you want to take shots. You can come in and say, you're gonna be me in 5-10 years. You're gonna be Mickie James.
I love it.
You're gonna be with someone else. You're gonna have a kid. You're gonna be doing something totally different, and you're wasting your time. That's the storyline.
Or you can spin it and say like, hey, I this is why I love John. I got me a man. I'm married. I got a kid. So you're gonna be alone.
Yeah,
like I said,
you need to get away from him.
Yeah,
and then don't just let Cena have his little feud. Put him in the feud.
Put him in
there.
Yeah, get him involved with something else.
Get him involved.
Hit him away from the championship.
Pause that. You know.
That is how you make it all tie together. Because we know y'all date. So why not put him in a position to where like they're backstage? And Nikki's like, I don't know why Mickey's acting like this. Or I don't know why Natty or whoever she's in the feud, I don't know why they're acting like this towards me. And John's like trying to console her and saying, hey, you know, it's gonna be okay, whatever. I'd rather see that. If he's gonna be on my TV, I'd rather see him in that role. Hell, have Nikki start coming to the ring with him. Anything different other than the hustle, order, respect, hold up the towel, him talk to Stu, the cameraman. Why do I know the cameraman's name? We'll get to that in a little bit. That's not why we're here. That's not why we came. We'll get to him in a minute. But the point is that this is some really bad writing. And creatively, you got to know your characters. You can't force somebody down a dark path that's been clean cut good basically since the time they've been around. Or if you're going to do it, give her own heart foundation.
Yeah.
Of women. And stable. Of like some of the best wrestlers. There's wrestlers down in NXT, young talent, that she could be like building up. If you want to build her as a threat, give her a stable. And let her kind of run roughshod over the whole division. Not the heels and the face talent. That's how you put Natalya in the light to where like, damn, Natalya's a threat. Her talking about charisma than you, that was funny. Yeah. But I mean, she can't say it next week because I already heard her say it.
Yeah.
What's left now? What's left now?
You're gonna die alone.
You're gonna die alone. And if we hear that again, like, I don't want her to die. I had enough trauma just watching Jerry get kicked in the chest. That was enough for me. Yeah. I didn't need. Definitely. And I don't want Nikki to die. Because then she can't do that thing. When she come out.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. You know, my input on that, because it's not my Smackdowner. But I don't care. I don't care about this segment. I think a lot of us was on our phone, but yeah.
Yeah, so moving on.
Yeah, so moving on. My Smackdowner, and to be honest, you know, the Lord talked to me overnight, and like at first I didn't have one, but God said, wake up, turn on SmackDown Live, and watch it on TV, because you might be missing something. So I watched SmackDown Live, and as soon as I press play, I hear that David fucking Otunga. And I was like, he almost got by. He almost got by. Because that was y'all Smackdowner. But he almost got by. So for him to be my Smackdowner, that means that he didn't annoy me to the point where he was my smack in the face, but like he did annoy me. I just didn't like his involvement in the commentary. I mean, you play what I play. I mean, to keep it short and sweet, just listen to what I say every time I put David Otunga involved in my Smackdown or Smack in the Face. I mean, he's not needed. There was 4 chairs out there. One of them should have been empty, honestly. So, I mean, we tried to give him hell, as much as we can live there, but, we couldn't hear him. So we didn't want to be too shitty and say, like, he's doing a bad job. We couldn't hear it, but we sensed that he was doing a bad job.
I felt it. I felt bad commentary happen.
Yeah. But, I mean, just think, when I rewatched the things he was just saying, like downplaying AJ, praising Cena, like, those are things that'll piss me off automatically. He could have said as simple as that, like, AJ is bad, John Cena is good. I was like, that's the worst commentary I ever heard in my life. Simple fact, because you're not pleasing my ears at all. So it's just fact. I mean, he's not needed. Just simple as that, and I'm gonna let that go, so we can move on.
I do want to add one thing to that though. I haven't watched it yet, but just in my thoughts about David Otunga, I really want to be objective about it. And here's where I am about it. In the history of commentary, since we've been watching wrestling, we've gone through many announcers over the years. The biggest problem with Otunga is the fact that he straddles the fence. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And the next problem is the fact that, like, if you remember, like, JR and the King, when they were just the 2 main guys doing the commentary, you never heard JR completely just trash Triple H, to the point to where, like, he's still good in the ring. No?
Right.
You can't discredit the guy. I mean, he does some despicable stuff, but in the ring, between the ropes, he's the game. He's one of the best to do it. That's where the commentary is lacking, because there's nobody, because they don't have the I think it's more of a chemistry thing, where Morrow, JBL, they're just kind of talking at the wrestler as opposed to talking about the wrestler. When we grew up to JR, Jerry Lawler, we grew up to Paul Heyman, Joey Styles, ECW, they talked about the wrestler. They didn't just talk at it. And it's a big difference between being talked at and being talked about. And I think that's the reason why Otunga's commentary is so bad, because while we just hate it to his core, because he doesn't talk about it. He talks at it. That's his problem. He doesn't discuss what we can all see, that AJ Styles is phenomenal, that AJ Styles is the wrestler of the year, voted in every magazine, every publication, internet magazine, whatever. He is the top wrestler in the world right now. He completely eludes that because of this fanboy, that he had this fanboy crush that he's got on John Cena. And that's what taints his commentary, because he never looks at it and says, you know what? Miz is good in between the ropes. He may cheat, but he's still good. He's a 6-time Intercontinental Champion. He'd rather sit up on his commentary when he's talking and call the Miz a coward. He always runs. I don't like the fact that he's always cheating, or I don't like the fact that he took the easy way out, instead of respecting the fact that they're winning, they're winners, they're champions. And when you're a winner and a champion, that's the same reason why KO got on me on Twitter. You're talking about the man waistline. You're talking about how cut or lack thereof he is. He's the champion.
That's all that matters.
And that's what matters. He's a winner.
And just like Joe then brought up last night, like I said, I forgot about this part. He just doesn't. It's like you said, he straddles the fence. And just in that main event about the cage match, he's so fixated on trashing that Alexa is a scared champion. She runs away. He had the nerve to make the comment, well, Becky has Alexa all trapped by herself. Alexa has no way to run this time. I'm like, dude, the object of the cage match is to get out of the cage.
Right.
To walk out or to climb over.
Running's a good thing.
Yeah, that's what you want in the cage match. I mean, but same time, it's like, he plays, it's so cartoonish at times how he, illustrates what's going on in the ring. And he really doesn't illustrate at all. He just talks, saying, that could be you or Guy Lee's, and who he wants to put over. And like I said, it's just insulting to Morrow and whoever else is involved in the commentary.
Right.
I don't enjoy it at all.
But it's actually funny that's brought up because me and BK, shout out to BK, but we were discussing basically the commentary one day, and one of the things that we found with the commentary is specifically David Otunga is that with Morrow and JBL, I feel like some wrestlers have promos. Let's take Goldberg and Brock. We'll see their promos for a week straight. A week straight, week in, week out. We're going to see the even if it's the same video package, we're going to see it. I feel like with those wrestlers who don't have those promos, who don't have those video packages to show, when two people are in the ring, we're supposed to have a story. And that's for the commentary to come in. That's where the commentary comes in. You tell us the story that we don't know. So we'll be invested in this match. Right. So we'll know what's going on with this match, why these two people fight, why it's important that these two people fight, why it's, if one gets a win over the other, the importance of that, the history, their history. It seemed like he too busy trying to identify as you're the face commentator, I'm the heel commentator. You put this, you talk good about this guy, I talk bad about this guy. You talk bad about that guy, I talk good about this guy. It's like, dude, where's your history?
Right.
What do you know anything about these people besides what you looking at in the moment
or what you saw the week before? I mean,
exactly.
Like, let's talk about what that they didn't just start wrestling last week.
Exactly.
Whatever decision that they made last week on SmackDown, okay, yeah, that should play into the next week. But they have a long line of history. I mean, like, specifically the way that he was talking about the Miz and AJ Styles, it's like Morrow will give us those facts about AJ. IWGP champion 2 times over. Not many non-Japanese wrestlers have been IWGP champion. He'll give us that fact. That makes AJ important because everybody don't get to just go hold that title. The fact that he debuted in January and within a year's time is the WWE champion, beat John Cena clean. That's important. That's what we need from the commentary, and not just with the people that we mark for. Because, yeah, we AJ fans, we Miz fans, but for everybody. You could help get Kalisto over. You could help a 2-time United States champion, NXT tag team champion. That's how you get your talent over. Tyler Breeze. You could get Tyler Breeze over if they ever gave him the opportunity. Your commentary should be able to get anybody over.
Exactly.
And I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. If you think back to the Ascension, and in one night, JBL killed the Ascension's run. Whatever they could have been, he killed it with his commentary on the mic. And you have to be very, and it even though it's just wrestling, we love it. Even though it's just wrestling, you got to be careful with your words because your words is what's going to either make a star or break a star.
Absolutely.
Because before July or August, there was no talking smack for these people to go on there and build their characters and push themselves, promote themselves. There was no opportunity for that. What you saw on the show was all you got. There was no behind the scenes, no exclusives. There wasn't none of that stuff. You had to take what you got within that 2-3 hour period, and that's what you had to run with. So that's what's hurting the brand as far as the commentary, because of the fact that they're not focusing on what good each talent has done or what they've done. Morrow does a good job. I mean, he a stat fact tracker. I mean, he can call anything. He be telling you stuff that you don't even realize.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff that we know about certain people, specifically on SmackDown, is because of Morrow.
Right.
Because nobody else speaks about it. I mean, even on, Raw, nobody knows their stats and statistics.
And the thing about it is that if Otunga is determined to be a face commentator, he has to put his personal emotions in the background, because you already got a heel commentator that's gonna trash all the faces anyway. But we know why he's doing that. But I don't understand why you are so. I just can't believe it. That's terrible. He's a coward. He's this. He's that. He's the whatever. There's a way to project that without sounding like a complete idiot, like he does.
Yeah.
And that's all I got on that.
All right, we spending way too much time on it than I thought we would for a SmackDown, but we were really, I think this smack in the face is gonna be even longer. So
It's unanimous, I believe.
you think so?
Yeah.
Rich Homie Twan, what is your smack in the face?
I mean, I'm not even gonna step into this as if anybody's gonna disagree with me. Why was John Cena on SmackDown? Why was he? What purpose did he serve on SmackDown? Shane and AJ, understandable beef.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. Shane came out. He's announcing what's going on with the brand. Absolutely fine. Your job as the commissioner. Said some things that involved the champion.
Mm-hmm.
In comes AJ Styles. He said some things AJ didn't agree with, and I don't agree with it being your champion because it directly involves me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I should have a say. I understand you being out there, AJ. AJ said some things. I'm the best here. I'm the reason people watch SmackDown. Ratings been up. It's because I've been champion. Somebody, I can understand a particular person disagreeing with it.
Mm-hmm.
In comes Miz. I understand your beef, Miz. You just lost your belt too. I understand you coming out. You want another belt.
Mm-hmm.
You got this guy talking about he the best, and you feel like you better than him. Hey, I need another belt anyway. Let me come out and let you know, bro, you ain't better than me.
Right.
I understand you being there, Miz. I'm still waiting on the reason that John Cena came out to the ring. For one, his music played. Why was his music played when he came out to the ring? It's like, and not only that, I'm not even going to focus on that. I'm not going to focus on that particular point of the show. Let me go to what really ticked me off, and that's the point, the end of AJ and the Miz match.
Mm-hmm.
First off, sir, you're like the face. You're not a face. You're the face. You can't do no wrong. Why are you interfering in people matches? Because you that man. You expect this from the Miz. You expect this from AJ. You talk about how dirty of a player they are every week anyway. Mm-hmm. You don't expect them to come out and do something petty, like throw one or the other into you, and then you get so mad you run into the ring and interrupt the match?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? And not only that, it ends with you and the Miz and
both of them.
AJ Styles. Like, why? And like you mentioned already, EJ, but do you mind if I beat this horse one more time? Can I take one more swing at it? I'm going to take one more swing at it. Why? Anything that's had to do with AJ for the past couple of weeks since John Cena has returned has consecutively consisted of John Cena's music being the ending moment of whatever segment that AJ was in. What we have to remember is John Cena, whether posing, whether throwing up the hustle, loyalty, respect sign or whatever, that is our image every time. And I don't feel like I'm asking for much. I don't feel like AJ asking for much. I mean, he's only your champion.
He's only your champion.
I mean, and he's been your champion. And not to mention, this man that y'all have dominating and ending every segment with his music playing and him posing, standing, looking real strong. AJ is 3-0 on this guy. He got 3 wins to John Cena's none. I feel like, is it too much to ask for a little respect for your champion? It makes no sense that John Cena gets to get away with the grandstanding and hot dogging that he have going on every week. Mm-hmm. And man, look, can somebody please take this bat out of my hands and you swing at the horse, please. Please.
I mean, we're pretty much gonna unicorn stomp this, John. So yeah.
My problem with this is that I'll take the story. John Cena's trying to prove himself. Okay. John Cena's been gone. He's older. He's the old guard now. He's the old dog. I can accept it. But here's the part where I'm having the biggest issue. Is the fact that while John Cena's been aging, the people have been getting better. None of the people that Cena started with are around anymore. Batista's making movies. Brock's only there every 3 months around the big 4 pay-per-views. He's not around. Orton, I already talked about him. He's giving back to the business. He's got people. He's taking pinfalls to Chad Gable. Took a pinfall to Dean Ambrose. He's not in the world title picture right now. He's with the Wyatt family. He took a pinfall loss to Bray Wyatt. He's been more than given to help the brand. It ain't about what I can do for Randy. It's what Randy can do for the blue team. Cena's coming back. He's about to be 40. So he's on the other side of things. If you're gonna bring him back, you see that the talent is better. This ain't the same Miz that John Cena fought 5 years ago in WrestleMania main event. Well, more than 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago at the WrestleMania main event. This ain't the same Miz. The Miz that we got now is way better. And you have never come up against AJ Styles or anybody like AJ Styles. And when you did, you lost. You lost to Punk a lot. You lost to Daniel Bryan. You never beat Daniel Bryan one-on-one. So if that's the case, why is it that John Cena's not seen in a more vulnerable position? Why are we still getting Super Cena? This is not 10 years ago. This ain't 5 years ago. Your talent has changed. So the way that you book all of your talent should be different. Cena at the top of the card when Great Khali is in the main event. I understand that. Because Great Khali was horrible in every sense of the word. When he was the world champion, you know, Del Rio really never got over like he could have, you know. So I understand. John Cena, gotta be John Cena. But you're going towards the end of your career. You're getting all these phone calls, all these opportunities to go and lead the business, to do other things, and you say you'll never leave WWE. And hey, you know, you love the business. Hell, we love the business. We love wrestling. We're fans of the business just the same. But there's got to come a time to where you say, I've got to pass off to the next person. Flair lost plenty of matches. Plenty of matches. He didn't just hold his one spot down. That's how he ended up with the belt 16 times. And now I'm pretty sure there were people older than us that was like, why does Flair keep getting the belt? But it wasn't to the point of detriment, though, to where like it hurt the business. He got it in between runs from Lex Luger. He got it in between runs from Hogan. He got it in between runs from Sting. He got it in between runs of the Giant, Nash. He got Goldberg. He got the title in between other wrestlers being in the spot. And he didn't have these long reigns and all this other stuff. Like, it wasn't always Flair's got the title for 2 years or he's beating everybody. Flair used to get his ass whooped.
Flair went heel too.
Yeah, and Flair went heel.
Dirty win.
He didn't always win clean. He wasn't always like, oh, we love him to death. He got a lot of those championship victories from being a heel. That's why we accept his 16 reigns. But Cena's gotten every reign as a face.
The same face.
The same face. And now we're at 15, getting ready to be 16, and I'm supposed to like this guy now? I just hate him more. Because you got too much talent in your company. Let's not even talk about SmackDown. Just in your company that deserves to be in that spot. You got an NXT full of talent that are capable of being world champions. Why? Because they've been world champions in ROH. They've been world champions in New Japan. They've been world champions in TNA. They've been world champions in Revolution Pro. They've been world champions in ICW. British world champions. All these different world champions. Now, yeah, they're not the big title. I get it, but the talent don't change because the AJ Styles that was over in England fighting Marty Scurll, fighting Will Ospreay, is the same AJ that we got now. The same AJ that was fighting Nakamura and that was fighting Okada. It's the same AJ we got now. The talent was always there. He just wasn't in the ring with the people that he in the ring with now. The people that he in the ring with has changed, but the talent has been there. So why is it that John Cena keeps getting this spot? He ain't been in the ring with half them people. And honestly, I can't even say that I want to see it anyway. What would make me want to see it is the fact that these other talented people get a chance to shine and get a chance to beat up on them. That's what would bring me a smile. Not because I can't wait. Ooh, I can't wait till John Cena fight Bobby Roode or Nakamura or whoever. Because it's too much of a risk involved.
Right.
It's too much of a risk involved. I don't want to see none of those people. I don't want to see anybody in NXT have to take a Samoa Joe. I don't want to see that take a pinfall to John Cena. I would much rather him start on this trail of losing. Like maybe I ain't got it no more. Hell, they did the losing streak with Ty Dillinger. They did the losing streak with Sami Zayn down at NXT until he finally had the big win. If you're going to try to force me to care about this dude, let him lose all the time. He's still John Cena. But in the meantime, you elevating everybody else. That's all I get.
I tag. My little two-piece on this. Y'all pretty much triple stumped everything I was gonna point on, but there's some things, I want to elaborate on. My thing is, just like Twan brought up in his opening segment about the situation, his involvement in that whole angle with Miz and AJ Styles, it really didn't serve a purpose for him just to be out there instigating. But the thing I mostly have a problem with is, which I've been having a problem with since he came back, is like, you walked right through the door and just got a title match off the jump. And not only that, say for instance, AJ Styles does beat John Cena at Royal Rumble. Shane already issued 2 weeks after that, they're going to have an elimination chamber. And John Cena's going to be involved there. You'll constantly give him opportunities to get these wins or get the title once again. And like I said, I had a issue with it. I feel on all brands, not just SmackDown, if you have the title, you defend it on Raw, defend it at the Royal Rumble, and you successfully retain it, you shouldn't have to defend that belt until WrestleMania. Point blank. It shouldn't be no switch. I think you brought this up yesterday, J.Fields, that we didn't get those title switches in between January and March or early April. You got to give the program time to build. You have to give that main event for WrestleMania time to build. So if AJ was to win at Royal Rumble, AJ should be champion walking to WrestleMania. He earns that right to headline WrestleMania. Don't swap it out just because John Cena's involvement and he needs to be the headline. He needs to be on the cups and the flyers and everything for WrestleMania for you to sell. It's not like, just like you said, this is not 10 years ago. He's not needed for us. For the success of this program.
Too much talent.
It's way too much talent. You're not losing. It's so much talent now that if somebody was to get hurt, like it was last year, last year was too many people getting hurt. But if somebody was to get hurt now, especially have AJ establish himself with the business, you don't really lose anything because somebody can ease in there, and fill that void. You shouldn't panic and say, okay, ratings are down. Ratings are down because John Cena's not involved. No, ratings not down because of that. It's just the fact that we know what's coming. We know your involvement. Well, the only reason you have these people on TV right now so he can come in and insert himself into it and squash them. It's just a repetitive stage. I was very upset last week with Baron Corbin taking that pin, which y'all heard on the last GTS. And we constantly keep saying that his involvement shouldn't be around the title every time he's on TV now. AJ has been doing a great job defending that title, putting on great matches without John Cena's involvement. Let John Cena focus on something else. Let AJ focus on another. Like I said, he's pretty much set in stone that nobody from SmackDown is going to win the Royal Rumble since you're going to have an elimination chamber,
right?
To determine who's going to be at WrestleMania for the title. So, you already writing that off. So, now we got to look forward to not happily looking forward to John Cena's another attempt to get the title again. And like I said, if you want to flip it around, what if John Cena happens to win a Royal Rumble? AJ owns a rematch clause. He should get a rematch. And you're not going to give him his rematch. He has to fight in the Elimination Chamber. So it's still not going to work out in his favor. And it's not fair. Like you said, you got Miz stepping up his game. Everybody's elevating, moving their character, switching from heel or face. Miz gave a little face run. It didn't work out. Switched back to heel. Dean Ambrose came in as a heel. Went face. I mean, it's been working out for him. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's making that transition, that switch. But Randy Orton is a key example. Just like you pointed out, Fields. Walked in the door with John Cena. Flip-flop back and forth with these title runs. He had a heel run. He had a face run with the main title. But he always switched it up. And we don't get that. And like it constantly sounds like a spin, just like Twan said, being a dead horse, because week after week is so brand new to us. Like, I can't understand why they're not making this switch yet with his character. I really personally, like I said, you hear every week, I wish he would just go away. It'd just be simple as that. His involvement is not needed. And like I said, it's sickening and it upsets me every week that he plays a part of the main storyline, or the show goes off, or the angle ends with him being on top. And it doesn't make sense. And like I said, it belittles AJ, because we already got on the fact that AJ is not your headline or centerpiece on the Royal Rumble poster. Like, you got AJ in the back and he's your champion. That shit is sickening. That's dumb. He's the champion. We say this every week. He's the champion. Not the Universal title, like you said, they made up. He's your WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And he was 5 rows back on the poster.
And it's not even acceptable, because it's like John Cena not even in the Royal Rumble.
Exactly.
Match. Like, what purpose do you have up here?
Doesn't have a belt, and he's on the forefront in front. I mean, it's disrespectful. And like I said, I feel, regardless how good of a person, like we always bring up, how good of a person he is outside of the ring and shaking the kids' hands and kissing babies and all that bullshit, it's the fact that dude is a glory hog. He can't focus. He can't do what he does without the spotlight being on him. And like, regardless of how many people say he's a good guy, I cheer him because what he does is Make-A-Wish and all that bullshit. It's the fact that he has to be in the spotlight, and that bothers me so much that I don't want to see him every week. I look forward to seeing Randy Orton because he's doing something different. I look forward to seeing The Miz because he's switching up and doing something different. Everybody else, you can jump to shift to Raw. Like I said, it's not to serve the case better, but like Roman Reigns is involved in different storylines, even though they're pretty much cut from the same cloth. But like Roman Reigns played that heel face before. Like I said, everybody's changing their game. They're trying to elevate and get better. And like, I see the same shit from him. He might pull off a new move every now and then, but like, what else?
Yeah, and just real fast, I don't like how, specifically with John Cena, it's like, when can we just keep it wrestling? Just keep it, because I feel like you have nothing else to give us on John Cena besides outside stuff. Make-A-Wish, Saturday Night Live, all the kids' lives he's touched and stuff like that. Well, if you want to go outside of the ring, let's be honest, Randy Orton does those things too. The Miz does those things too. And it's like, what glory can you give John Cena here? Right here. Let's like you said, let's stop talking about how much of a good guy he is. Because if we're going to talk about him being a good guy for those reasons, then we need to talk about everybody being a good guy for those reasons. We need to talk about why Randy Orton can just walk in and say, hey, I want a championship match at Royal Rumble. It's going to happen. You know why? Because I'm Randy Orton and I'm a good damn guy. And I save lives. I visit the troops when they go overseas once for the tribute to the troops. I go and I salute them and I run back and forth and I act like I'm going to beat somebody up and I do my Randy Orton thing. If you stop including that, because like I said, favoritism. It's clear cut favoritism. And one thing I like about that they're doing is they're conducting the wrestling as a business, as a workplace. Hey, you do this, you're going to get fined for that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you do that, you're going to get suspended for that. It's like, keep it like that and keep it like that for everybody, because, you know, all that we hear about Randy Orton, he's methodical. He hears voices.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be trusted. That's in ring. You keep it in ring for him, which it should be.
Right.
How can we keep it in ring for John Cena?
Yeah, we don't have to step outside the borderline. So, oh, John Cena visited St. Jude this weekend while they was in. I mean, of course, he ain't the only one. I mean, like, we can go over that millions of times, and like I said, just like, I mean, you brought up a great point. Like, stop focusing on what he's doing outside this building. What is he doing right now? Mm-hmm. And like I said, J.Fields brought this up. Like, Randy is putting over younger talent. He's putting people over, getting big wins. Jericho does the same thing as well. Like, Jericho put, I'm not saying that it worked out in his favor, but he put Fandango over at WrestleMania.
He put over Bray Wyatt.
Put on without even having to take a loss.
And it didn't diminish his character at all.
Just being with him, he put him on.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't get that. John Cena has to get his win back. I mean, we can keep doing this. Mm-hmm. Rusev's supposed to be the top heel of the company by now. Mm-hmm. Bray Wyatt. And you also, I forgot to bring this up. You know, we was talking about clean wins. No, let's not forget, Del Rio came back and beat John Cena clean for the U.S. title. Yeah. But that's going to be an afterthought because he had to get his win back. Mm-hmm. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, they never let it be. The only person they let it be was with Daniel Bryan. After he got that win, it was over with. No more interaction, no more.
And that's because he went on to the storyline with the Authority. Yeah. But it would have been let me get you back.
Yeah.
If the Authority wasn't the storyline.
I think if he was still involved with the show, he would have came and said, hey, well, you know, now that he got the title after WrestleMania or whatever, you know, he won in New Orleans, I think he would have came back and said, okay, well, I want that now. You know, you took it from me, I want it back. You know, it was in that bullshit.
Plus, another reason he probably didn't go at Daniel Bryan. How do you go at Daniel Bryan and still be the lovable guy that you want people to take you as?
It was impossible.
It's no way it's gonna happen. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons he said you can have it.
Or there's another reason why they probably not going with the Undertaker either.
Oh yeah, he would have. Yeah, he would not came on top on that. But I mean,
that's a boo no matter what. I mean, like,
absolutely.
You're not gonna get that pop. You're not gonna get
that AJ.
You're not gonna get that. Let's go Cena. Let's go Undertaker. You're gonna get all Undertaker.
Yeah.
You're gonna get all Undertaker. And then on top of that, my biggest problem with WWE is that they focus on these records. Yeah, they're the longest standing wrestling company in the world outside of New Japan. New Japan been around for a long ass time too. Mm-hmm. But they get so caught up on records now, tracking days of how long people's been the champion, to where they forget about the fans of the ones of us that records are cool, but you clog up the product with records. Mm-hmm. Now John Cena's on this path to be the 16-time champion. Mm-hmm. That's partially because of the fact that y'all gave him the belt every time he was around. Back and forth. Just change the title back between him and Punk, him and Edge, back and forth, him and Orton, back and forth. Every time he got hurt and came back, y'all gave him a belt. Mm-hmm. Y'all the one that got this dude's title reigns up like that. But what happened to the element of surprise? Because nobody was more surprised when Chris Jericho beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night to become the undisputed champion. Mm-hmm. Nobody was more surprised. Everybody was shocked. Because Rock and Austin, Chris Jericho,
your top guys,
your two top dudes, and both of them within the same night to help give the rub, to give somebody else in the business the chance to elevate. Jericho ain't been the world champion that many times. Mm-hmm. Some people don't even consider that title reign to be that successful. And then he dropped the title to Triple H.
Yeah, they feel like he's just talking when he, make the mention of being the undisputed champion.
Yeah,
that was a big deal.
Yeah,
that's a huge deal. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why can't we go back to those days where that unexpected person, where you think, man, he going against John Cena. He ain't got a shot. He finna go against Randy Orton. He ain't got a shot. And then all of a sudden they sneak one. That's the element, not because it's the surprise factor. Brock Lesnar beat The Rock, Hogan, Undertaker, all within the same year. Won the title. Surprising. Your next big thing. And look what it did for Brock. Even before the UFC.
Larger than life.
Larger than life. Kurt Angle beat Austin. Made The Undertaker tap out. Look what it did for Kurt Angle.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
So
that's what has to happen.
It's just, I mean, but like I said, it's just a point right now, like whoever he's involved with doesn't need that rub from him anymore. Because he already destroyed the people who needed that rub. Bray needed that rub 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Rusev needed that rub those years ago. Even when he was facing Umaga when he was coming up. Destroyed Umaga at Royal Rumble. Never been the same since. Umaga was, it's no stranger to the listeners that it was one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers at the time when he had his run. But Cena destroyed him. And like I said, to sum it up, I mean, because we way over the time we usually be. We ain't even hit our near falls yet. We almost at 1.5 hours, So anyway, but just to sum it up, I mean, once again, WWE would give me our chance. Yeah, I mean, get them off the TV or do something different. But I know y'all ain't gonna do something different, so get them off the TV. So that will wrap up our review. So let's focus on these near falls now, fellas. Any near falls?
Well, the only thing I can say, I mean, which we already touched on, was the fact that the Miz and AJ match was damn good. Damn good. I mean, I'm glad to see that they're willing to give the Miz that spot again. You know what I'm saying? Because that was something that I think me and you, EJ, we had been talking about, like, what's next for the Miz? If he's not the Intercontinental Champion, then what? But the fact that he might have a spot in the Elimination Chamber, the fact that he may go in and have a good showing in the Royal Rumble, like, all of that intrigues me. And then there's still this part with Renee Young and Maurice and Dean Ambrose and Miz to be explored too. And it's like, not just one storyline. I mean, if anything, that would probably be my near fall, is that some of our talent on the show don't just have one storyline brewing. It's multiple storylines brewing within one, or within one bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? And I like that.
And just to kind of capitalize on that, one particular example is the whole Dean Ambrose and Randy Orton thing. Dean had his issues with the Miz. He the Intercontinental Champion now. You got to look at it. Nobody remembered that Randy Orton RKO'd this man a couple weeks ago. And it's like,
makes sense.
It did. I see why you want the match tonight. He did RKO you, and that was never resolved. Something for it. Like I said again, everybody has something to do.
That's 3 storylines though for Dean. Now, if you think about it, because Shane put him in the Elimination Chamber. So not only you the Intercontinental Champion, you got a chance to get the world title. You got your issues with Miz. You got your issues with the Wyatt family. I mean, like that's damn good. It all revolves around together. It ain't just like I'm over here by myself and it's all that's going on with me. I got this interchangeable thing happening. You know what I'm saying?
You remember a while back, when we were talking about, seeing the same type of matches every week, we talking about why you got these people backstage, why they're not on TV. But like at the same time, right now, you don't miss it so much because everything's making sense. They're not having these unnecessary matches like Luke Harper versus Kane and Kalisto versus Kurt Hawkins and shit like that. They actually, it kind of sucks at times. They gotta wait for that turn, but at the same time, I think once they get out there, it's actually gonna mean something. It's not just gonna be for no reason. And so I think we constantly praise SmackDown for doing a good job with that. But
SmackDown kind of feels more like it runs kind of like ROH TV. Like if you watch ROH, it kind of plays like ROH, whereas Raw plays like just really bad Raw. And it's like, because like you don't get the world champion every week on ROH. You don't get the television champion every week on ROH. You don't get tag team champions. You don't get these other sidebar storylines that are going on. But like for example, this week it was either this week or the last week on RH, you had Silas Young and the British City Bruiser going. It was last week. They were going against two young guys in a tag team match, and in the midst of that, they were trying to find a third person so they could go after the 6-man title. And that was an interesting element because it's not just, we're a tag team, but we want to be the 6-man tag team champions. Then you had Colt Cabana in this tournament to see who's going to get the #1 contendership for the ROH title, the Decadence tournament to see who was going to get the shot at the ROH champion in March. And then you had Dalton Castle boys run out and interfere. That's 2 storylines going on within one. You got this dude competing for a world title shot, and he's cost a shot because of another storyline that hasn't been fully resolved yet. That's damn good booking, and that's honestly why I enjoy SmackDown way more than I enjoy Raw, because it's not isolated. It's not these pointless matches just because we got 3 hours to fill up.
But you know what it actually kind of plays out like, and it's kind of funny that it seemed like the rumors just might be true, is that this plays out a lot like a year ago NXT. A lot like NXT. The SmackDown we getting, it's playing just with Sammy when it was Sammy and you know, Kevin and all of them there. SmackDown seemed like an episode of NXT. How the stories were great.
Well, the main writer for NXT is the main writer for SmackDown now. So
and it shows.
Yeah, it shows.
But it's still kind of same time. It's like somebody cooking up this fire-ass meal. It's gonna be good as a motherfucker. But you got that one person coming in and say, "Let me add my 2 cents." That's John Cena. He fucks it up.
What you say about corn? Corn that we were talking about years ago. Corn. I'm tired of corn.
Like, dude, we just had corn, man. I don't want corn again. Well, that's exactly. That's when you brought up, you know, the storyline. You know, it's revolving. It's like it's delicious every week, but like it's that one thing. Somebody like, oh, I can make it better. Let me put myself in there. Like, dude, it was good without you. Like, we ain't need you to throw your little recipe in with this. Like, everybody satisfied what's served on the table. You don't gotta come out and fucking throw your side.
It's like that potluck when everybody you know, like certain people gotta make the spaghetti, or certain people gotta bring the banana pudding or the cake or whatever. And then somebody like, this is my world famous this, but it's trash. Nobody wants to eat it. And then like it just sitting there and ain't nobody touching it because don't nobody want it. That's John Cena.
We had that a long time ago.
That's John Cena. He's that dish that nobody wants to eat.
Only the kids want.
The pan with the spaghetti on it.
Motherfucker ravioli.
They're ramen noodles.
But I guess it's unanimous about that. I mean, I was gonna give a quick shout out. Like I said, we were running way over time. We gave y'all a fucking movie tonight. But shout out to 205 Live. I'm actually excited about the Rich homie. I'm about to call him your name. Excited about the Rich Swann and Neville program is going on in WrestleMania. I mean, that promo package they showed last night is simply remarkable. I'm gonna buy into that. I'm gonna want to watch it. And I mean, Jack Gallagher, WWE got a gym with him. Keep working it. I need some merchandise. I need a shirt. I need a what did he say last night? What's his thing? What's his catch?
Scoundrel.
Scoundrel. I need a scoundrel shirt or something, man. But I think that's gonna do it for like like I said, we gave y'all a full-length movie. An hour and a half. Yeah, we gave y'all a good little ride to work. Ride to work and back, and probably next morning too. So be sure to check out 1559 for other podcasts. RBU is up right now. They got a good segment about, the passing of Jimmy Snuka and other involvement. Raw wasn't horrible this week, but it wasn't still watchable in my eyes. But anyway, she got a new Studio Flow. Check out Studio Flow podcast. By the way, YouTube. This podcast will be on YouTube. We have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, Instagram page. Check them all out. And anything else?
I think that's it.
Is it? I feel like I'm missing something. But Twan, it was a pleasure. We're probably gonna bring you in on all our SmackDown, pay-per-views that we cover. Cause like I said, I think we got a good 3-man rotation in this thing going on.
I appreciate it.
Tonga, take notes. But until next time, this is your boy EJ the King.
It's your guy J.Fields.
Reach homie.
And we out. Peace.